Well, kind of both, I guess. I've talked to you quite a bit, and things just keep getting more and more bizarre and kind of scary around here. Um,
All right, we're back. This is attorney Vince Davis. This is The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win. I'm joined this evening by attorney Elizabeth Jacobo, who is an expert in this area of law, and therapist Brian Hamilton. Folks, let's take another call. Let's talk to Barbara from somewhere in Northern California. Barbara, did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
well, kind of both, I guess. I've talked to you quite a bit, and things just keep getting more and more bizarre and kind of scary around here. It's been almost a year ago now. I have my nieces and nephews that live with me, and there were some things going on and allegations against my mom. So CPS took the two younger ones and left the two older ones. The two older ones, technically, they're my brother's stepkids, so I don't even have, custody of them. But they took the two little ones. The social worker was the niece of the foster mother and was asking about putting them in her house as she was driving out of my driveway because I was on the phone with my girl. And so that's how I know that she was already asking. And much to my strong, pleas for no, she still put them there. And it was an already overcrowded house with 5 girls and 1 adult female. And they put my boy, who was 13, and my 11-year-old girl in there. So 8 people in a teeny tiny little house with 3 bedrooms. Over the course of this almost year, multiple people here in town have complained about the foster home, written formal complaints to the state and everything. But it's a county licensed foster home, so their hands were tied. The foster mother has admitted that her and her then 17-year-old that she has custody of were smoking pot. She was letting my boy smoke pot, drink alcohol, shoot guns. He has a very bizarre fascination with killing small animals now, and all kinds of stuff. And finally, they retaliated against me because I filed a complaint with the state against them, and the state substantiated my claims. But of course, because it's a county foster home, they have to give the report over to the county. So after the county got it, they filed paperwork. Well, they didn't really even file anything. It's just they sent a thing to the school that said that I can't pick just the boy up from school. They knew the whole time I was an aide at the school the kids go to, and they waited 5-6 months to file anything or to tell the school anything. And then the principal, who the foster mother has a recording of, lied and said I never told him anything. And he inferred from a conversation with the social worker that there was no contact. There was some kind of no contact order, when in fact I have never been served with any papers or anything. Never talked in almost a year now, never talked to law enforcement, never talked to CPS, nothing. We haven't had visits in almost a year now because of lies the foster mother has told. So they've separated all 4 kids. When I got placed on administrative leave, I told the superintendent in great detail what was happening in that house, including there was a day that the principal was actually at the school, and I got a phone call from the foster mother regarding, are the kids supposed to be online, and because it was distance learning time. And the way this woman talked to my kids and her granddaughters, it was disgusting. And I mean, I could hear, because she lives next door to the school, I could hear her screaming all the way over at the school. Every other word was the F word, just horrible. I told the principal about it then. He didn't do anything. So when I got put on leave, I told the superintendent everything, offered him proof and witnesses, they've never reported it. He never reported the abuse in that home. 4 months to the day later, my girl got the strength. And I'm guessing, because, again, I'm not part of the case, so they don't tell me anything. But from what I've heard from people who know, what's going on and stuff, she got the nerve to report the foster mother. And all the same stuff I told the superintendent was happening in that house is what she reported. So they took her and they got her almost 100 miles away from all she's ever known as this tiny little town. They've got her 100 miles away with strangers in a big city. She's being homeschooled. She's being forced to go to a new doctor. And until just a couple months ago, she was not allowed contact with anybody. And that's because kind of a distant relative is a social. We talked to her and she called in and got some phone calls with a family member, but it's just bizarre land here. And I'm not the only one they're retaliating against, but they are doing everything they can to keep us separate. They got my de facto parent status taken away. Of course, after they found out I reported, I have talked to everybody. I even talked to the county director of HHS back in December. 2 weeks later, because they had, sometimes the judge gives the foster parent ed rights. They took the ed rights away from the foster mother and gave them to this other woman because the foster mother had my kids in 5 schools in less than a semester. And they were missing school, everything. So one of the things when I went to meet with the county director of HHS, I told her, I know the woman that they got ed rights to. No problem. She seems okay. I have no problem. My older boys are friends with her daughters, everything. 2 weeks later, they're in court saying there's no CPS's lawyer is in court saying there's no connection to this woman and I. They lied. They said the state found nothing but fraudulent claims. Putting it out like I filed 100 complaints against this woman. Well, I filed 1. Well, now I filed 2, but originally it was just 1. And they're trying to make it like I was harassing her. I mean, the whole thing. And like I said, the social worker who took the kids is the niece of the foster mother. And I mean, this is the base of it. It's just, and I just don't know what to do. I mean, thankfully you're helping me with the school part, but and now what's really bizarre, and I think I told you this, they're trying to get me fired from being an aide in the class with my kids. Yet CPS is now because 2 weeks after they removed my niece, they took my nephew out of that foster home. They are now, I mean, I see him all the time. It's unrestricted, unsupervised access. He's always drinking out of my cup, coming up, hugging me, joking with me, everything. And according to CPS, I'm an aide at a youth group that he goes to, which I'm not. They just never bothered to call the preacher to see if it's true or not. They just went with whatever the foster mother said. So basically, they're letting him, and he had to admit this at my hearing for the school, that CPS is letting him go in that class that they said in court, I volunteer in, I'm an aide in it, but they're trying to get me fired from being an aide in the school. This is how bizarre this is. And they're targeting people in this county that they know can't afford an attorney. We have another woman who is an addiction therapist. She filed paperwork with the grand jury. Next thing she knows, after 30 some odd years of practice, she's getting an ethics violation against her.
She filed a complaint with the grand jury. A complaint about what or who?
About her client is in very similar circumstances to me. They took her baby, gave it to a coworker. Wait, hold
on, Barbara. You said they. Who's they?
CPS? Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
CPS took her baby and gave it to another CPS worker?
Well, I think she actually works at the behavioral health side of CP. I don't think she's a social worker. I think she works, more the office part of it kind of thing. But yeah, basically a coworker. And there's several, it's all the same social workers, the same judge, the same lawyers, all involved in this. And actually the judge that is handling our CPS case, because like I said, it's my niece and nephew, she's the same judge that several years ago handled both my brother and sister-in-law's drug cases. So she has a preconceived bias against them. And so it's been clear from the beginning she's planning on just taking their parental rights away.
Hey, Barbara.
And
I'm getting signaled by my engineer. We have to take a break now. Listen, I want to thank you for calling. Thank you for listening. And call us back in about 3 or 4 weeks and give us an update on this case. This is The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win. We'll be back after these messages.